So here's a first look at the prototype for the switch switcher. Actually, it's not the first prototype, it's more like the second. But so what this device does is it allows a user to have two buttons, a select and an enter button, to toggle through 8 different switch outputs. So included is the unit, and it's a prototype, so it's a little rough looking, but it will do the job. There are jacks on the side of it, and then a power jack. So what you have is select, enter, and display. So select, enter, display. So this is where we're going to plug in our select switch, our enter switch, and then the display, which I'll get into in just a second. These 8 here are for connecting to the outputs, the different devices that you want to control using the 3.5 millimeter jacks. And then you have a USB micro power input. Also with the unit is this little display, which comes with its own special cord. This is called a TRRS cable. It is widely available. It's used for cell phones, but it is different than your regular mono or stereo switch cables you'll see. So it has the 4 connectors. It's the only one of the devices, parts of this device, that requires the 4. So what I recommend first is it'll already be plugged into the display, but it comes out too if you need to take it off. And just push it back in. The little thing here has a magnet, so you could, perhaps it'll attach to a point where you can hold the display. You could put some Velcro. I'll include some Velcro if you want to hold it somewhere. So the first thing you want to do is plug in the display. And the display will go into this 3rd port. I've got some cheesy labels, but they'll do for now. And just plug it in like that, like normally. My recommendation is always plug in the display first before applying power. So you could wire everything up, but apply power last. There is a slight chance of you plugging this in when it's powered on causing problems with the display. So just to avoid that, I always plug it in first. And it has a nice long 6-foot cable, so this unit will be in a backpack or, attached to the back of a chair or something like that. So let's get the display out of the way kind of right now. Now for select and enter, I have a test switch here where I have test 1, test 2. So I will plug in, and this is going to get very wiry very quickly, as you probably well used to by now. So there is select, and I'll use T2 for enter. So at this point I've got a select and enter, and these are your switches to whatever your favorite switch is. It depends on the user, right? I mean, some people have head mounted, some have near their hands, whatnot. So we're keeping it flexible by allowing you to use your own switches. So we have these 2 ready to go. Now we might as well power it up, and to power it up you'll need a USB micro cable. I will be including this short 1-foot version because it's a decent length. And then you'll need to provide a USB power pack. It's a standard power bank. This is a 10,000 milliamp hour one that I happen to have that works pretty well. And just plug it in. So I've plugged in the power there, and then on the display, because you've plugged in the display already, you'll see the number 1. So that means that number 1 switch is the active switch. So if I hit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it'll rotate. This version does not have the go backwards command yet. I want to see how this works first before I code that. This is your request to, if you hold down the select key, instead of going forward, it would go backwards, which I completely understand the need for that. But let's see if this thing works at all for you. Now, once you've selected your appropriate switch, let's say this is a door opener is tied to number 3. You then hit the enter and see how the display inverts, and you can hear the click of the relays. Now this will stay on for as long as you hold the button down, so if you just want momentary, just do it quick. If you need it long, just hold it down however length you need it. It's completely up to you. There's some small safety features in here. If you accidentally press 2 buttons, the select and the enter at the same time, it will not do anything, so it'll ignore that input. There is also a debounce delay on both of the inputs, so if you frantically go too fast, it's not going to change. So there is a debounce. This can be adjusted programmatically. I want to see what works out best before I lock down a number. I've got a number that seems to allow you to go relatively fast without overwhelming the unit. So let us plug something in. I've got here are more cables. I've got a switch tester I have. This it's just a continuity tester. It'll go yellow or red if it's got a signal. I'm going to plug into, let's do the 3rd jack. Just plug that in like that. Okay, so we're currently on 7, right? So, okay, well nothing because we haven't selected this one. So we go to 3, which is the one I plugged into. See, there's that yellow light going on that's telling you that, yes, I am switching. 4, 5, 6. So there you go. That let me know if that is going to fulfill the needs. If not, let me know and I will update it before shipping.